In this video, we're going to talk about the NECA Ultimate Gizmo from the movie Gremlins. Welcome to the Swearwolves Horror Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Brett. If you're a returning subscriber, I just want to thank you for coming back. And if you're new to this channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Please consider clicking both that subscribe button as well as that notification bell below. We upload videos on a regular basis in which we review anything and everything horror, from action figures and toys to soundtracks, various collectibles, video games, you name it. And today we're talking about this Ultimate Gizmo by NECA from the movie Gremlins. I just reviewed Stripe the other day, and I didn't have Gizmo, but I was out at the store just browsing, and I saw this sitting right there on the shelf and took it as a sign that I should pick it up because every Stripe needs a Gizmo, and picked it up and got it. So Gremlins, what you see isn't always what you get. Let's take a look at the back of the box here. On the back it says, a gadget salesman is looking for a special gift for his son and finds one at a store in Chinatown. The shopkeeper is reluctant to part with the Mogwai, but sells it to him with the warning to never expose him to bright light, water, or feed him after midnight. All of this happens, and the result is a gang of gremlins that decide to tear up the town on Christmas Eve. This, of course, is incorrect, because the shopkeeper didn't sell him the Mogwai. It was actually the grandson of the shopkeeper who sold it to him, but I digress. Got a couple of different shots of the figure itself. Gizmo with the Christmas hat on, of course, and the trumpet. Just Gizmo right there with a kind of sad, frowny face. There he is. Another one of him dressed up in his Rambo attire. I believe that's from Gremlins 2. But let's go ahead and see what's inside the box as we open it up. There's another shot of Gizmo dressed up in that kind of Rambo attire. And there he is in all of his glory. A lot of accessories with this one. So why don't I go ahead and give this thing, get this thing opened up actually, and then we'll go through it and give it a review. All right, I got the figure opened up, and before we get to the figure itself, let's go ahead and talk about these various different accessories that this comes with. Like I said, there's quite a few, maybe not as many as some of the Ultimate, but definitely more than most. This Gizmo has interchangeable faces, not heads. They're just faces that go over the top, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and go through these interchangeable faces. Here's the first one. Kind of that mean scowl with the bandana, like the Rambo look that we saw on the cover right there. You can see that there's the bandana that would go over the rest of the face. And then this is how it attaches. But again, we'll go over that in just a second when we talk about the figure. But there's the first face. Set that down. Here's the second face. There's the sad Gizmo right there. Cute little sad face. And then we got the more smiling, kind of jovial Gizmo right there. So that's the third face, and then the fourth face is already on the figure. It also comes with this hat, this Santa Claus hat right here, which you can see. Good detail in this hat. Looks like it's fluffy, but it's not. This is all just molded rubber, hard rubber. Set that aside. I didn't talk about the detail too much in these. Detail is really good. Just, typical for these kind of cartoony characters. When I was talking about the Stripe one, it's really hard to compare it because there's no actor that it's supposed to look like. It's just supposed to look like the character itself, which is, of course, a puppet and more cartoony. So they do a good job replicating that with these figures. Again, the detail on this is really good. The hairlines on this molded rubber. So we've covered that. It also comes with this candy cane. And that's just a molded plastic candy cane. So that looks pretty good. A little bit of paint mistake right there with the red. But other than that, it's just a candy cane. He, of course, comes with his bow and his arrow, which is right there. But here's the bow. Pretty good. It's just this soft rubber. It can flex. So you could pose him with holding the bow. And then this is his arrow, which is a pencil. And there's that on the tip. Let's just get that to focus up a little bit. So pretty good job on this. This, is, of course, isn't to scale with the other Ultimate line because it would be really tiny. And if not, the Ultimate line would have to be really big. So this isn't to scale with those other more human figures, but it doesn't need to be. It's in scale with the other figures in the Gremlins line. And finally, for accessories, we have the trumpet. And this is just a toy trumpet. Nothing too spectacular about this. It's good enough. But the main star is, of course, Gizmo. He's the reason why we all saw this movie for the first time. I remember when I saw this movie for the first time, I just loved Gizmo. I wanted a Mogwai for myself, not knowing, of course, that they weren't real, because I thought the special effects in that movie were so realistic. Now, this was 1984-ish, 1983, and I was quite young, so what the hell did I know? But anyway, getting back to the figure, really good job on the sculpt of this figure. Like I said, it being a cartoony kind of character, it lends itself to the sculptors to be able to really just make it look almost exactly like it, because there's not an actor that they have to replicate, although they do a good job with that. All the hair is just this molded hard plastic. He does have this rope around his waist. I suppose we should talk about the articulation. First and foremost, the eyes. Now, these eyes, there's a ball in the back that you move with your finger, and you can make the eyes go different directions. He can look down, he can look up, to the sides, but they're kind of out of sync sometimes, so sometimes he's got some really wonky, googly eyes. I can try to make it. See, they're kind of out of sync sometimes, so you have to really play with it. But for the most part, probably just have him look off to the side like that. I like that look, that kind of sly. Like, he's up to something, but it's a good something, mischief aside. We do have some articulation in the ears on either side. They can go down or up. The head has this ball joint, so he can swivel it, it can tilt up, it can tilt down, tilt to the side a little bit. So some good articulation there. Like I said, the eyes, of course, have that articulation. The shoulder, you can turn it at the shoulder. Not really much in the way of moving it off to the side without taking the arm completely off. But you can move it to the side a little bit. Of course, he does have movement in his hands, slightly, but you can see there's a slight movement in his hands. And then there's some movement there at what would be the elbow. He does have some stubby little arms and stubby little fingers, so it's really kind of hard to get a character like that with such short arms to have some really good articulation, but it's there, and it's good. And his legs, they just kind of tilt backwards and forwards for the most part. There's no in and out movement. So it does have a low center of gravity, so he is easier to stand without a stand, and he doesn't have any peg holes on the bottom here. So that I really like having the peg holes because it makes standing the figures a lot easier. But with a figure like this, it's not necessary because you can see you just set him down and he stands up pretty good. So let's talk about this face. So this is going to get, it could scare some people. So I'm just going to put a warning right here. You're going to see a Mogwai without a face. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. This is creepy looking. But there you can see the eyes and how they move a little bit better. But if you move them just the right way, they do get out of sync. But easy enough to get them back into sync. Okay, so this was the face that came with it. Of course, we already talked about that kind of smile, that smirk right there. We can put another face on it if we wanted him to have his mouth open. It's just as simple as lining up these two notches right there with the two notches in the head. And then there's clips. You can see like kind of towards where the eyebrows are on the inside. There's clips and they go into those little notches right there. And same with the bottom. There's little notches. So you just kind of put it on and push it in. There's really no snap, but it does definitely give him a different look on his face. So which face do you put on? I almost want to go with one of the ones from the original movie because, like I said, I think the Rambo, does that come in the second movie? Maybe that's in the first movie. I thought that was in the second movie, but I think I'm going to actually do the Rambo, regardless of what movie it was from. If you know what movie that's from, go ahead and comment down below. I haven't seen those movies in a little while. I need to watch them. Probably around Christmas time I'll watch them. But they kind of blend together. Some of the scenes blend together for me, so I don't really remember. But like I said, if you know what movie Gizmo dresses up as Rambo, go ahead and comment down below. I thought it was 2, but it could be the end of 1. I know he's driving a car at the end of 1. Anyway, let's go ahead and put the Rambo face on him and put the him holding the bow and arrow. All right, I got the Rambo gear on Gizmo, and he looks really cute. I really like this outfit, this kind of accessory combination, this face sculpt. I think it'll be good for display. The one gripe that I have with this, and this is going to prevent this from getting a 5-star review, is the hand articulation. I know I said before that I understand with the stubby fingers and just the nature of the character, it's probably more difficult to have that. But it would have been nice to have his hand molded in such a way that he could grip something. As it stands right now, I kind of just have it resting in his hand, and you can see it kind of goes down and being supported by the hand in the ground. But that's my only gripe. So it doesn't get a 5-star review for me. It gets probably a 4.5 Pamela Voorhees heads. Another reason why is those eyes, as cute as they are, and I like to be able to control them. That's kind of neat that it has that. I don't think that's necessary for this figure. I would have liked to have something maybe a little bit better. Maybe just the interchangeable heads would have been better instead of the interchangeable faces. But I understand NECA's trying something new, and I don't fault them for that. So 4.5 heads, 4.5 Pamela Voorhees heads for this figure. And if you agree with that or disagree with that or have any other comments, go ahead and leave them down below. And if you like this video, please click the like button below. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed and you feel so inclined, click both the subscribe button as well as that notification bell. We are the Swearwolves Horror Podcast, and we do a weekly show in which we review horror movies. So please check us out by searching for The Swearwolves wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can also visit our website at theswearwolves.com. So, for the Swearwolves, I'm Brett. Hi, this is Brett with the Swearwolves. When I'm not editing videos or creating content for YouTube, I just sit here and wait and wait. If you like the video that you just saw, go ahead and click that button right there. And if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that other button right there. I'll wait.